One of the cool things that React Suspense and concurrent mode gives you is the ability to really configure how your loading states show up over time. And it also has built into it some of the things based on some research from people at Facebook on the React team have done to determine what's the best user experience for users with regard to loading state. And so here with our use transition for improving loading states, let me just show you the example that we've got. So here if we go to Pikachu and then I click on Charizard, you'll notice that the input updates, but the loading state doesn't show up until just like a tiny bit after. The reason that React does this is because it thinks that, hey, if I just wait for a little bit, maybe this asynchronous API request or whatever the asynchronous thing is doing, what if maybe that resolves pretty quickly? And if it does, then I don't want to bother showing a loading state. And this also actually has some implications as well, depending on where you set the state that triggers the suspending component. So our component suspends when the Pokemon resource is set, but if I actually set that Pokemon resource inside of my submit handler, then that's going to be done at the same time that the Pokemon name is set, and we're going to see a slightly different experience. So if I save that, then we'll go to Pikachu, we're going to see that loading state and everything, but now watch the input. If I click on Charizard, it actually takes a second before the input or the loading state shows up. Same if I click on Mew, and yeah, still it takes a second. So we don't actually have to worry about that because we're doing this in a use effect. So our Pokemon name gets updated and then our use effect fires and we update our Pokemon resource. But this is something that you want to keep in mind that React and concurrent mode are doing. This is not a bug. This is an intentional feature of React and concurrent mode that it will just wait for a little bit before it actually decides to render out your fallback here. So that works out pretty well most of the time. They have some pretty good defaults based on some research, but we know a little bit more about our asynchronous interaction, and we know that it would probably make more sense to give some sort of indication that, yeah, we have received your request and we are processing it right now, but not actually show the loading screen until, I don't know, maybe like 4 seconds, so that the user isn't just staring at a loading screen the whole time. So that's what this exercise is all about. I give you some examples of what this API looks like, so you can use the use transition API, and your job is to use that use transition API to give a better loading state. And then we also take some extra credits here to improve that further and even further with some additional APIs. So I think you'll enjoy this. Go ahead and have a good time. We'll see you on the other side of the exercise.